On our agenda is proposal number 193, which recognizes the 52nd anniversary of the Stonewall Riots and the June celebration of Pride Month.
Okay. That would be great. Where's Ethan? Okay. A special resolution recognizing the 52nd anniversary of the Stonewall Riots and the June celebration of Pride Month. Whereas LGBTQ people in Indianapolis have made and continue to make vital contributions to the city and to the state in every aspect, including in fields of education, law, health, business, science, research, economic development, architecture, fashion, sports, government, music, film, politics, technology, literature, and civil rights. And whereas LGBTQ people in Indianapolis serve as law enforcement officers, firefighters, and first responders in all of Marion County's public safety divisions. And whereas LGBTQ people in the United States serve and have served in the United States Army, Coast Guard, Navy, Air Force, Marines, honorably, and with the distinction and bravery. And whereas LGBTQ people in the United States serve and have served in positions in the federal government, state and local governments, including members of Congress, governors, mayors, and city-county council members. And whereas
the demonstrators who protested on June 28, 1969, 52 years ago, following a law enforcement raid of the Stonewall Inn in an LGBTQ club in New York City, are pioneers of the LGBTQ movement for equality. And whereas, throughout much of the history of the United States, same-sex relationships were criminalized in many states, and many LGBTQ people in the United States were forced to hide their LGBTQ status and identities while living in secrecy and fear. Whereas, on June 26, 2015, the Supreme Court of the United States ruled in Obergefell v. Hodges 135 SCT 2584 that same-sex couples have a constitutional right to marry, and acknowledged that no union is more profound than marriage, for it embodies the highest ideals of love, fidelity, devotion, sacrifice, and family. And whereas LGBTQ people in Indiana face disparities in employment, healthcare, education, housing, and many other areas central to the pursuit of happiness in the United States. And
whereas 30 states have no explicit ban on discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity in the workplace, housing, or public accommodations, and 35 states have no explicit ban on discrimination against LGBTQ individuals in education. And whereas LGBTQ youth are at increased risk of suicide, homelessness, and becoming victims of bullying and violence, and whereas the LGBTQ community has faced discrimination, inequality, and violence throughout the history of the United States, and whereas LGBTQ people in Indianapolis and across Indiana have fought for equal treatment, dignity, and respect, and
whereas LGBTQ people in Indianapolis have achieved significant milestones, ensuring that future generations of LGBTQ people in the city will enjoy a more equal and just society. And whereas despite being marginalized throughout the history of the United States, LGBTQ people in Indianapolis and across the country continue to celebrate their identities, love, and contributions to the United States in various expressions of pride. And whereas the inclusion of LGBTQ people in Indianapolis continues to expand every day, and LGBTQ people in Indianapolis remain determined to pursue equality, respect, and inclusion for all individuals regardless of sexual orientation or gender identity. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City-County Council of the City of Indianapolis and of Marion County, Indiana,
Section 1, the City-County Council supports the rights, freedoms, and equal treatment of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and the queer, referred to in this resolving clause. Sorry, my glasses are fogged up. Clauses that the LGBTQ people in Indianapolis and around the world. Section 2, the City-County Council supports efforts to ensure the equal treatment of all people in Indianapolis, regardless of sexual orientation and gender identity. Section 3, the City-County Council encourages the celebration of June as LGBTQ Pride Month in order to provide a lasting opportunity for all people in Indianapolis to A, learn about the discrimination and inequality that the LGBTQ community endured and continues to endure, and B, to celebrate the contributions of the LGBTQ community throughout the history of the city. Section 4, the mayor is invited to join this resolution by affixing his signature, which he has done. And Section 5, this resolution shall be in full force and effect upon adoption and compliance with IC 363414, and I so move.
Motion's been properly moved and seconded. Are there comments from councilors? Vice President Adamson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to step in front of Ali just really quickly and just mention, too, that we are here and able to celebrate Pride Month because of those pioneers who have gone before us, most notably in the riots and the Stonewall uprising by contributions of the Black and Latina trans community members, most notably Martha P. Johnson, Martha Pay It No Mind Johnson, and Sylvia Rivera. And so I would like to make sure that they are especially noted in this, and as well as the people who have all come before us. So.
Councilors?
We're good.
Well, all right. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, signify by nay. All right, the motion carries. Thank you, councilors.
Thanks.